people. The essence is not necessary for revenue generation. It's to protect the job for their people to benefit. And I don't want the labor ministry renewing their permit after Senator Dobo. Can you imagine 10,000? This is Pony Irresistible. I can't take all of the time, and I'll be calling you. And thank you for appearing. We hope you can appear next week.
Pony,
so we can do more, Senator.
Can't pay okay if it's in appear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't take all the time. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you so kindly. Thanks to Senator Dobo. You know, Senator Dobo and Senator Dillon are my two favorite senators I have in the house, right? From the day that Senator Dobo representative up to now, and I continue to enjoy him.
Kabina, let's talk about the issues at hand. We don't have time.
Okay, thank you. No, this other Trokon exactly when I spoke to the point issue, the example I said, right? And then there's that the honorable just spoke of. No, these people are also need to be taken up on them. We can come into our country and we generating a lot of people say they will go and the mechanism be put into place to help us. So my question to the senator here is, all of these statements that you people are putting into place in order for these people to hold on to it. Then, to still not to empower it, what would be a next thing of action? Thank you.
The very last person. Hello.
Trokon, how you doing, Trokon?
I'm very fine. Let's hear you, please.
Hey, Trokon, yeah, God bless you. Even if that 1 minute, Trokon is very, very good. I'm changing on to us again, Trokon. I don't want people be giving people, how to call it, fake flower. They say, okay, the flower to the man when he is alive. But Trokon, I will not give the senator any fake flower. That man will not be sitting in and say, oh, we want to. What are you doing? You get power. Then you talk about, oh, we want
But it got to start in the discussion. You got to craft the bill. You put it on the floor. That's what they're doing. You can't just wake up one minute and say, yeah, the bill, they pass it. Ain't looking at all.
Trokon. Anyone who make a decision, they make it as once. They don't care about what going on, but they make decision for people to benefit.
The reason. Wait now, let me tell you something too. Now let's have a conversation, right? The reason for which they're not making the decision at once is they have to invite the experts. The public has to be aware of what is happening and know it is in the.
The banks are now all over today. Because obviously the bank have to make profit. How do you think 4 banks will go to River G County? Even if they go there and Puto Martin is operating and Puto is taking the money outside and not putting it in those banks, what would they do there? So there are a lot of things you look at. Okay, so some of the constraints of the bank today is as a result of investment now going through the bank. The big guys are not saving. It's only the young guys that are saving temporarily, if I'm not all it, because we only save for salary purpose anyway, and we take it out. So obviously, the reasons we are here, I mean, it is there to just inform you, say this and that. That is what we're thinking about. What are you thinking? Okay, you can reach out to our offices and let us know. You can send messages around. We can monitor these talk shows. We can hear from you. We have to introduce that to you so you can know that we are working on this thing. We can't just pass a law without getting citizen involvement. You have to know what's going on. Now that from this conversation and previous conversation, we know that indeed the rent control, is something that is of half importance to Liberian based on our conversation.
On the floor, the way the discussions will be going, we hope to have you here for updates. I think they are very.
We know that I'm a member of the Waste, Means and Finance Committee that also have some level of oversight of some of these bills. Okay. And I'm also on the Banking and Finance Committee. So my colleagues there, they are in gear. They have a good number of them who are co-sponsors of the bill. They are on those committees. So obviously, I'm confident that indeed we will make it happen. Irrespective of revenue loss, we are also providing room for revenue gain.
Retired representative, now Senator President Dobo has been my guest. We've been talking about some of what he's doing out there at the Liberian legislature, specifically the Senate. We talk about the amendment of Section 200 of the Liberia Revenue Code on personal income tax table. We talk about real property tax administration transfer out of 2024. Our discussions also focus on the rent control out of 2024, which many people call, the diminished income tax amendment and the export proceed repatriation act, including the National Civic Education Commission Act of 2024. We'll take a break. When you hear me the next time, the youth league chair of the opposition CDC will be here.
Rushing. Why are you rushing also?
You, Judy, don't give me hard time, man. I'm going to the bank to get my cash because the bank was so close.
You can use the ATM?
My ATM card expired ever since.
Man, you don't need ATM card. Just use the mobile app and generate an e-token. All you have to do is to just log on the app, you click on Express Cash. Then you select ATM. From there now you select Generate e-token. Then you select the account you want the money to come from. From there you select the currency that you want. If they're Liberian dollars or US dollars. Then you put in the amount that you want, whether $10 or $20, you put it in and you generate your e-token. It's simple, like 8 numbers that will come to you. When you get that number, just go to any Ecobank ATM there. All you have to do is to just select the C Express Cash on the ATM now. The place where you're supposed to put your ATM pin, that way you pull that 8 number. Then it will ask you for the amount. That money where you generated, that money will come with the ATM will pay you.
So simple. Ecobank has for me again. Oh. I will always make use of the Express service big time. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Your favorite RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas is new and improved with top-notch first-class services guaranteed to make you feel pampered and special as our royal guests. Ideally located on the RI Highway, a few minutes drive from the rehab junction, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean, you are assured of a peaceful, serene atmosphere of a home away from home. The ingredients for our Liberian meals are freshly picked from our garden to give you that unforgettable taste of Liberian cuisine. Our villas are designed and equipped to ensure every night spent with us is a memorable one. We are well positioned to host conferences and seminars of all sizes, as well as outdoor events like garden weddings and parties. Book your upcoming events and leave the rest for us to handle with 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can reach us on 0770-533-415 or email us at reservations@kendejaresort.com.lr. Visit our website on www.rljkendejaresort.com.lr. RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas, for memories worth repeating.
Many Liberians suffer silently. Many more live with sickle cell disease. But on June 19, we break the silence. Hosted by the Camara Sickle Cell Project and MTS Sickle Cell Foundation in partnership with Sickle Cell Association of Liberia. It's Liberia's first ever sickle cell awareness webinar live on Facebook. Stop the stigma. No, it's not witchcraft. It's time to understand. Hear real stories from warriors, a caregiver, a clinician, an advocate. Learn how to love, how to support, how to stand. With this year's theme, Global Action, Local Impact, we are reminded progress begins where we are. Better health care, early diagnosis, stronger advocacy. The time is now. Join the movement. Stand with the warriors. Honor the fighters. Spread the word. On June 19, make sickle cell visible. Join the webinar live on the MTS Facebook page from 4:30 GMT to 6.
Thank you. Welcome back to the second and final portion of the OK Conversation. Right after this one, we'll take our weekend break, and I'm back on Monday in the absence of Julius J, who is the lead host of this show. We are now privileged to have with us in our studios former Assistant Youth and Sports Minister, and of course, the current chairperson of the Youth Congress of the Opposition Coalition for Democratic Change. Emmanuel Morbat Johnson has joined us in the next 55 minutes or so. It's going to be a heated political conversation. We'll ask the tough questions, and he's going to be responding to some of those. Let's welcome Emmanuel Johnson. It's a pleasure. Where have you been?
We have been around. We are league. We are not Congress.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
the Youth League.
Youth
yeah.
League.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been around. It's been nice. It's been tough around. A lot been said. Yeah, but we're kicking.
If you are a Youth League, are you more radical, punchy than being a Congress?
Yeah, it depends on the posture of the regime. The regime is more understanding in terms of providing protection to individuals' rights and privileges, and understanding that people must gradually leave degradation to prosperity. Then we confront to the way in which we should. But for now, we are league, as we've always been, and as a matter of fact, you've been seeing how the regime is being positioned itself. So we're more radical if that will satisfy the purpose of your questions.
I know a lot of you young political people love radicalism. You're in that mood. You feel it is by that means whatever regime that is in power can understand your message, and you're challenging, you're moving. And a couple of months ago, seems you were not in Liberia. Where have you traveled to? Did you go to school? Did you achieve anything academically? What was that?
I've been around.
Or you went for
I've been
vacation
around. We are global citizens, and we appreciate the education obtained from the United States, at the University of Chicago. So we've been around. We are privileged to go wherever we want to go. Yeah, by the grace of God. But we love being here because. Sorry.
I see you dressed like an American. But anyways, on a Friday.
Yeah, we love being here.
How was the CDC Youth League? How did you meet it, and where are you guys?
Well, it's obvious that the election did not go our way. So, yeah, the young people are courageous enough in the Youth League of the CDC. Very smart people, brilliant, talented. Have a lot of different skills set in the Youth League. Young people who have obtained master's degree in the US, in the UK, and across the country. So we're at a point where we're at the front line, ensuring that we champion the rights, the struggle to ensure that young people are given decency, because there were a lot said, before the governance process, the Unity Party government. Then the campaign process, candidate Joseph Yuma Boaka said a whole lot of different things that he had not even achieved 1% of what he said. So we have to remind him. That's why we are here, to remind him, and fundamentally that's our responsibility, to remind Mr. Boaka about all of those lies that he told us, and to let him know that there are conscious people around, and we're not foolish, we're not stupid people. The indicators,
let's control
the indicators,
vocabulary.
The indicators around clearly point to dismal performance.
Will you remain in this kind of a posture for the next 4.5 years to 2029? I see a cliche of we are coming back, and it comes from a lot of you in the CDC Youth League. Are those postures going to continue until the heated political debate in 2028, 2029?
I can assure you that there are greater determination. There are greater determination in ensuring that the young people take their original spot. We always told ourselves that we did not lose the election. The election was being stolen, and again, part of our responsibility is to ensure that we provide reminder to the regime, and that's what we've been doing.
What gave you that courage? That courage and strength that Wrepue will be president again?
Well,
you are perfect.
The generation of 2017, the generation who stood against the Unity Party for 12 years, are the one that gave us the courage that. Yes, Wrepue presidency was possible in 2017, and we still bear with those courage that, yes, we are presidency is possible in 2029. But the conversation now is not just about we are presidency, because it's what is affecting the Liberian people is not just affecting sedition.
I
It's
want us to pass
beyond.
over those because I see a lot of posts on social media. You will say he's coming 2029. The other guys will say he's not coming nowhere. So I just wanted to hear from you,
Well,
as head of these young people who are doing these different posts.
So the real conversation, like we said, there's no doubt that President Ware will come back. No one have ever had, no one have ever harbored at that. And like I said, the courage that that radiate through our veins and through our minds is the fact that we are aware that the generation of 2017 analyzed the variables very properly, and President Ware became president in 2017. And that generation courage is still within us, and the determination is there. That's what we're doing to ensure that we remind the system about what they intend, what they said they were going to do. And so, yeah, 2029 it's very, very possible. It's very possible. I think unknowingly Mr. Bwaka is making Ambassador Weah president unknowingly, because a lot of different things been happening.
We will get into the detail of those conversation, but you seem to be very interested in what's obtaining at the court. It began with the toppling of the speakership position of Fonati Kofa, Councillor Fonati Kofa representative. Majority of his colleagues will pack the bag and leave from on his gavel. They will take a different posture. We'll have a speaker elected. Later on, they go to court. The court restore Kofa's right. We come back. There's a new election. We have a new speaker. Kofa being magnanimous enough, knowing that he didn't enjoy the confidence.
Magnanimity was coerced.
I don't know. That's your vocabulary.
That was not magnanimity.
But I know that he didn't enjoy confidence of a lot of his colleagues. He resigned for the sake of peace and restoring the dignity of that legislature. The Capitol building is on fire. Now we are where we are. They are 4 in number 5, but 4 persons at the forefront for the level of the court. And you seem to be very interested in this case as a youth league. Why?
Why? Because there are injustices, and there are bias, there are coercion, there are duress, and there are unlawful actions which violate our constitutional rights as a people. First and foremost, a president who became president and never realized that there's separation of power, and then there are executive and legislative and judicial responsibility of a country. And he never realized that President Weah became president, and then the deputy speaker wasn't a member of his party, and he felt very comfortable, and things were already moving on. And Mr. Bwaka felt threatened because his speaker, or the Speaker of the Republic, was an opposition speaker, and he felt that all of the political shenanigans and all of the unlawful actions would not have been taken if Fonati were to remain there. So he deliberately set up the coup, took Speaker Kofa to Italy, and we saw what happened. Consummated the forces through Jeremiah Kun, the vice president, and starts to oust the speaker illegally. In addition to that, the majority bloc took possessions of the Capitol building. The police director, Greg, and other people said, okay, they will provide protections for the majority bloc. We saw a statement from the president saying that, he will go on the side of the majority bloc. And the side that constitutes Koran is the side I'm going to go on, and to be verbatim on his expression. So clearly, he went on the side of the majority bloc, and the protections were all being given to the majority bloc. We saw also that the police, through the instruction of Gregory, went to the Capitol building and massively manhandled and ill-treated lawmakers, seated lawmakers. That was an extreme disrespect to the first branch of government. We saw that the police could not even issue statement of condemnation. They were very, very determined in their desire to crack down on the law. And so that happens, and we saw the the Capitol building got on flame, and technically the president got involved. Boom, he was on the scene. He said that this is an awesome attack, and this was done by hooligans, and we're not going to sit here. He made all of those outlandish, unguarded statements, and that was the beginning of the investigation, and that was the ending of the investigation. Braga conducted the investigation, and he ended the investigation, and he
That's
instructed.
how you feel.
Sorry?
That's how you feel as a group of people.
Well, the democracy.
Because we still see an ongoing investigation.
Because, you know,
the cases before the court.
Who knows? It may have probably been electrical shock. That probably may not have been caused by an individual.
Provided if there was electricity that night.
Well, of course there were electricity
because
that night.
I was one
of course there were electricity.
I was one or two.
The history of the Capitol building. Somebody sat on the platform and told you that the history of the Capitol building. The auditorium of the Capitol building have gotten on fire.
That was Grace's session on
that electrical.
But I was trying to tell you I was one or two media personalities on grounds that morning when I saw the huge smoke from OKFM when I was reading the news. So when I got there, I had to ask some of the security officers and those on ground. They said that building never had electricity that night.
So let me say something to you. So you are not a criminal investigator.
That's what
you are not a fire investigator.
Pretend to be one.
Do you know the smoke have different kinds, and the kinds of smoke determines what kind of actions has been taken or what kind of fire
so
that brought the property. So Mr. Braga have no knowledge, no idea, no skills, no education, experience on those things. So he just came and said, "Oh, hooligan did this and XYZ." So apparently the police was under instruction. How was he briefed? You must be briefed through an investigation. There must be an investigation placed before you as a president. You understand very well and ask questions before coming on the scene and making a statement. You are the president. You make policy. You are the policy position. When you say stuff, it's taken very seriously.
Okay.
What do you expect the police director to do when the president come and say it was done by hooligans? The police director should come and say it was an electrical fault, or investigation should come and say, oh, it was an electrical fault. So they never wanted to expose the president because the president began the investigation and ended the investigation. So Greg and other people starts to connect the opposition into it, even though opposition was not in possession of the facility. And up to present, this is where we are.
So you all think the investigation was targeted?
Of course, is political intimidation, is haunting the opposition. Why didn't those guys in the majority bloc why weren't they investigated? Okay, before the incident occurred, Mo Ali said there will be something water shoe. He made some sort of expression. The next day the building was on flame. Why weren't Mo Ali investigated? Why these guys did not investigate the opposition? I mean the majority bloc. There are a lot of other people who were in the space. Why those guys were not investigated? So we're only saying, which is very clear, that the minority bloc were being targeted. It's clear that these people were being targeted, and they did some sort of fake charges and connected one. Partisans of the United Party, one Copa or something. In less than 3 hours, she was released, and I admire Judah for that stance, because he asked the police director, "Why did you release this lady?" And he said, "Oh, because the woman was experiencing some medical issues." And Judah did a follow-up question, and he said, "Did you receive any communication from a medical institution that say, oh, she is experiencing XYZ?" He said, "Oh no, because the cell was small, and we not get female cell, we not get male cell." You can tell to what extent
that interview was done by
these guys. Mm-hmm. Judah asked a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
He phoned in that money?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, okay.
He asked a question.
Correct.
So you could see
follow.
Yes, indeed. You could probably follow up on that. You could see to what extent the police director was uncomfortable, because the whole thing is political shenanigans. The whole thing is an intimidation tactics. Is targeting the opposition, and that's why they make mistake. They make the blunder. They continues to make blunder to an extent where Brother Yanti, according to the police director, he was extradited back to the country. Do you know what an extradition is? It's a legal procedure. So did we see anything legal that happens to Ronnie or Yanti leaving Ghana and to come to to come to Liberia. When Yanti came to Liberia on the 6th of June, why didn't the police inform the public that this man is in the country? Why didn't the police directly, in the space of the 48 hour, right? Because that is by law, to establish a reasonable time for probable cause, 48 hours.
Was he in detention by then?
He was brought. You should be asking the police director.
No, I'm asking
he was
you
brought,
because you are talking about for the 8-hour time frame.
Yeah, because
so I'm asking whether he was under detention.
So, well, detention. I don't know how to term it, but we are yet to establish whether he was in the police was in. He was in custody of the police, or the court, or NSA, because he was brought to the country on the 6th.
Okay.
They placed him at a 5-star Grand Hotel. Why did he do that? A suspect, why are you treating a suspect with first-class treatment if you think this man committed the act? And if you charge him with all of those different charges, because every time Greg stood on the microphone, he said, this guy is charged in extension. But you brought him to the country and you kept him at the 5-star hotel from the 6th up to the 18th.
Okay.
Until we have a press conference before you release him to the court. Why did you do that?
You had family members you claim are relatives, or you have people you claim are relatives of.
I claim.
Of course. I don't know. I don't know their family connections.
But bro,
I don't know their family connections.
You saw Priscilla.
I don't know
on the radio. You saw Leonard Yanti.
Will you allow me? Will you allow me to ask my question, sir? So, at that press conference, you said, and I quote, that the Unity Party government was birthed on the foundation of falsehood, willing to lie its way to achieving any dubious agenda. It's a government of cartel agenda, no clear plan and vision to change the living condition of the people of Liberia. It was on that particular day that you made these statements, and you also claimed that the police was torturing this guy and attempting to bribe him. The police says is a lie.
The first thing of a major violation is prolonged detention. Greg admitted that Yanti was extradited, according to his statement, even though we haven't seen any legal procedures surrounding that, because it has to do more of treaties and other things between Ghana and Liberia, and the requirements of
we don't have
legal
that
process. I'm sure there's a treaty in position, but I'm not knowledgeable about whatever communication that flows between
because
the legal environment. No, but the point is the public. I mean, this is an investigation. The public must be aware of.
The security forces determine when to alert the public and when not to. No. Especially when they're investigating.
No, this is a very sensitive matter, my man. This is a very sensitive matter.
And I agree.
What you need to know.
And not every step of the police investigation will be delivered to the public.
Are you aware that prolonged detention is a violation of his rights? Are you aware?
That's public knowledge. If
that is public knowledge, then what?
That's what I'm asking you. Did the police detain him? Because I'm looking for that connection.
Okay. So he was brought to. Okay. What
they detain people at 5-star hotel, luxurious places?
You should be asking.
No, I'm asking you.
Because he's a suspect.
Okay.
He's a suspect. He was brought into the country. Okay. Except you want to tell us that because Greg told us that there was no negotiation between the suspect and the government. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. There was no negotiation. But he said a family member made a request. We are yet to know which one of the family members made a request. Okay. We are yet to know that. The prolonged detention is a violation of his right. You can keep somebody from the 6th up to the 18th until we have the press conference before you release the man to the court. It's a violation. And you know his right to his lawyer. It's a constitutional right. It's not some sort of statute. It's a constitutional right that he should be given
due process.
Very good due process to his lawyer. So you see the whole process, and Greg was so uncomfortable, so guilty, and you could see from his body language that the government messed up, and the case has turned into something different.
Have you all been able to find out why Mr. Yanti left the country? He's traveled to Ghana, especially at the time when he was mentioned by the police.
Fear that they have implicated him falsely.
He could have come and exonerate himself.
If it were me, I would have left. Fear.
Why, man? You will
because
you will be howling to
they could have done
whatever the police was
saying. Do you know what they have? Do you know what they have been doing to how you going, Thomas?
Except you say.
Do you know a lot has been done? Thomas was placed in a torture chamber of the police. The
What's
NSA.
the evidence,
brother? There are a lot been happening. Statement. If at the point, if Eric testified against Speaker Kofa, it's because it was done under duress and coercion. And nobody should be coerced to do anything. If the state needs a state witness, that should be done with due process in accordance with the law. Why should Gregory go on Facebook and extract Facebook comments done by AI and just put everything together, come out and say, oh, I have a bunch of evidence against this person, against that person, and then trying to negotiate with a suspect? Okay, you said it like you said the man's a criminal. The man fled the country. You make it very audible. And then the man was brought into the country. You placed the man in 5-star hotel. Why did you do that? Have you ever in your life? Let's forget about Liberia. Let's go regionally. Okay, let's go right here, Sierra Leone, Guinea. Where in the world have you seen a criminal placed in 5-star hotel? You charge the man. You give him all those different charges. And you brought him to the country. According to you, he was extradited. He came to the country.
What I know,
he placed him in 5-star hotel.
What I know,
the man should have been at the Moro Central Prison.
Emmanuel Whitner. What I know at times is that sometimes there are negotiations for some to serve as state witness, especially in a case of such a magnitude. And that's security practice worldwide. I don't know what the police was doing with him when they brought him since the 6 and the allegations that they attempted bribing him. He said they wanted to bribe. The family said the police and the government wanted to bribe. You said so. The police said it's a lie. We are caught. And
they just asked the police questions. The police did not even accept. The police weren't accepting questions.
No, I think media practitioners were asked questions.
Well, those things were for the most part, Greg was uncomfortable and things were still stage managed because the real question that you should have asked Greg, which one of the family members made a request, because he said the family made a request.
Okay.
You said there was no negotiation between you and the suspect.
You were there as a journalist.
There was no negotiation between you and the suspect. Why did you place the suspect in a 5-star hotel? In addition to that, well, the young brother left Liberia because his life was at risk. Plain clothes security people visiting his homes, terrorizing his family, and all of those different things. He left.
Amid all of these, what do you do? What will you do?
We are respecter of the law. And that's why we went to the family. We told the family, this requires public attention. And we had the opportunity. We want to appreciate the family for.
Oh, you went to them, asked them to come and speak?
Well, the family.
Or they made a request to use the podium?
They tried reaching out in the first place.
Okay.
So we told them, okay, you wait for us. We will come over to you. So we went at the house because they made a request to come to the party headquarters. We had the conversation with them, and it was very clear. Are they a member
of your party?
Well,
only John Yanti is a member of your party.
I'm not very knowledgeable about their political identity, but these were Liberians, and they raised very serious concern about their brother being falsely implicated in this case. In addition to that, they asked the youth league, what can you guys do for us? I said, well, we could get the platform to you and be able to express yourself about every other thing that have been happening. They were part of all the activities. Even the proposal that the police made, and the police gave $2,000 to Kofa, because Kofa, for some reason, Kofa initiated his own activities, go and collected.
Who's Kofa?
Kofa Yanti. Kofa Yanti is the cousin to John Yanti.
So the police gave him 2,000.
No, police gave Kofa Yanti a significant amount of money. I don't want to be specific on that. They also gave him the opportunity. The government is a whole scam between.
The police have said it's a lie.
It's a whole scam between Kofa and the government. What did Kofa never explain himself yesterday on Spoon FM? They asked Kofa who appointed you as ambassador. Kofa could not explain. Kofa couldn't explain who appointed him. So the youth league, accepted the condition of the family and say, okay, you have the opportunity. Let's go to have the press conference. And we created a platform for them, and they were able to explain every other thing.
And they provided evidence to you.
They provided evidence. They are in
Are you
possession
willing
of the
to take those
$2,000. The
evidence to
family are in possession of the $2,000.
Will you help them take those evidence to court?
Well, for the most part,
Because I know they were in
are,
out of the court.
we are law-abiding people.
That's
so,
what I asked.
Yeah, we
I
are
know you
law-abiding
respect the
people.
law.
We are law-abiding people. We've connected with the lawyer, and all of those pieces of evidence will be given to the lawyer. And there are deeper other conversations that the police have with Yanti, and the family have those different information. They will be delivered to the lawyer.
If you're just joining us, a reminder, you're listening to the weekend's edition of the OK Conversation. Right after this one, we take our weekend break and we'll be back on Monday. Manuel Johnson is the Youth League chair of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change. We transition and go to the upcoming July 17th protest. Have you all endorsed that protest? Will you be a part? What is it?
Well, first of all, Mr. Malu is in the civil society organizations, and he's making strive to ensure that he keep the government feet to the fire and reminding the government of her SSAs and her promises towards the Liberian people that they've not adhered to yet. So he's doing well, significantly well on that front, and the youth will make her determination on whether or not to publicly endorse the protest. If that is done, the youth will be in flesh and blood.
The clock is ticking. Time is running out.
We will make that
before that decision is made. Modu may have completed all of his campaign. It will be July 17th. So in the morning of July 17th, you will make that determination.
Just the Youth League leadership alone. In Moserado, we have something around 11,000 human beings. So when we make that decision, we say, okay, we are moving towards the process. We're going to endorse this protest. We will do that with all of our might. We will stimulate the sales.
Why are you holding back?
Well, we think we are stalling the process, and there are more reasons for us to make determination on that, because I can assure you, the government has not positioned herself in respecting the rule of law. So whatever will be happening, we are not one of those persons who will say, oh, conduct yourself and do this and do that. No. We are interested in doing very serious things. And so when we endorse the protests, there will be serious things happening. We can assure you on that. That the government will bear all of the sufficient consequences that will be associated with our endorsement.
You promised to have marched to, was it Capitol Building or the court?
When was that?
To the Monrovia Central Prison when President Weah was on his way there. I didn't see you going there.
Well, for the most part.
Why did you cut that short? Were you afraid of the police or what?
So we never intend marching from the party headquarters to the Capitol Building.
Okay.
We intend those who are available make your way at the
Central
the
headquarters.
The headquarters.
Okay.
And that was the point for which people gathered at the party headquarters. In one point, in addition, people gathered at the Temple of Justice, and the president went there and did what he's supposed to do there legally, and he left. And we saw the lawmakers coming out, the opposition lawmakers, because there was no government lawmaker or the ruling party lawmaker being apprehended. So we saw the opposition lawmaker coming out, and which was good. We want to appreciate the political leader for that stance. It was really great, and we want to also appreciate Mr. Alexander Cummings for cooperations and collaborations in the opposition. So things are significantly moving forward.
Okay, great. The Youth League position on the government's recent ban on parades, especially for schools.
So we think that's not how people make policy. We 100% categorically condemn the ban on school parade. We think it's a draconian policy because there is no alternative programs to what they have banned. You can just come out as a government and say, oh, do not do this. Well, young people, this is more a tradition in our educational system for Gather Day to come, and then young people try to do a parade in the street with all the excitement, with all the happiness and stuff. In addition to that, after wax, young people go and celebrate for a lot been done, all of the studies and everything they've been doing. So if the government come out and say, oh, do not do this, it's a ban on it, We think it's draconian. We think it's diabolical. You cannot proceed like that as a government. And that's what we said. People who are ruling, people who leading our country now is our country is in a very terrible state.
Don't you think?
Our country
Don't you think they are trying to put some precautionary measures into place?
Our country,
so that these people cannot come into harm's way, especially when people are along the main streets.
Our country,
they are not saying to not march, but they are restricted areas.
Well, they said it's a ban on parade.
They tell them to march in stadiums, in open fields. The statement is there.
So that is
read that statement out.
So wherever. It's a violation. It's a constitutional violation. It's a violation of their rights. Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution gave them the right to freely assemble, wherever they want to assemble. That is their constitutional right. Why will you? That's what we call censorship. You don't do that. You don't tell young people, "Oh, you can gather. You can gather." This is not a police state. And Greg have to stop.
But
Greg have to stop.
Nobody have to understand this.
Gregory have to stop.
Especially when the state feel
every sector of our country getting uncomfortable with Gregory. Every sector of our country. Every sector. He put himself in harm's way. Gregory could be one of those persons that will be sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Who determines that?
Because the young people have, with all the determinations, have written international community. We have written the U.S. embassy.
To do what?
All of Gregory's steps are in violations of the law. All of his steps are in violation of the law. To put a ban on school parade, that is against their constitutional right. Young people must be able to assemble, to associate.
You want the people marching in the streets, in the principal streets all day?
Chief, people don't march in principal street all day.
What do they do?
Gala Day is not every day. There are specific dates set aside for young people to march. So these are conglomerations of draconian and authoritarian policy. You don't do that. You are in a democratic state. Democracy gave right to people to do things freely, move freely. Why would you do that?
What would a CDC government do better?
Well,
in that kind of situation,
a CDC government has been on record for providing decent opportunity for young people, giving them freedom of movement. There are a lot that has been happening. CDC government. You saw a generation of 2019, 2020, 2021. You saw Costa then creating situation, panic in the country. They have a political protests. They have rallies. They were given cold water. They were given
some
food.
Of which you threatened to come.
No, you have to listen. They were given food.
No, I'm here to have conversation. You don't tell me.
They were given food. Unlike on Mr. Bwaka and Greg. People are intimidated for assembling. Even students, you can imagine that. Right now, if anybody feel offended in the community, they are not comfortable to take.
I remember
the issue
a
to the
student
police.
protest at President Weah's squatting place at the Foreign Ministry where the police fired tear gas. I was part of that protest in the coverage when I still worked for Prime FM. How do you describe that? The students sought refuge on the UL campus and the police kept firing the tear gas.
Why? On what purpose?
They were protesting because the MCS teachers have abandoned classes on grounds that the status were not defined.
Well, that's not to my knowledge. I think
you didn't know about the 2019 protest.
That's not to my knowledge. I think President we are in the educational mode for young people.
No, that's not my argument. My argument is your analogy about the police.
But that's how you create the space. That's what
your analogy about the police are. So I'm trying to remind you of what happened to the students.
Well, that's not to my knowledge. I have no idea. There's no record where police brutalize students. There's no record. There's no record. So I'm going to tell you, every sector of our country experiencing the embarrassment of Gregory. Gregory have to be very careful in his doing because it's clear that if possible this year may not even meet Gregory over there. He will be sanctioned. We can assure him on that. He will be sanctioned. Okay. You cannot create a condition where you limit. You restrain people movement. Why would you do that? We're not in a police state. We're in a democratic country. People should have the freedom to move, to assemble, to associate. These things are alienable rights. Why are you taking it away from them? So we are here to remind the government. Every other steps Greg have taken has been contrapositive to legal jurisprudence. The integrity of our code also has been questioned because of the behavior of the government. Too many things. Bwaka is putting himself in a position that every sector of our country has been embarrassed.
Great. If you're just joining us, this is the conversation. We allot a lot of time to the folks out there to call. So we also give a lot of time to Chairman Emmanuel Johnson to respond. Please be civil in your conversation because I will not hesitate to cut you off whenever you become disrespectful to my guest. Hello? Okay, this person. Hello? You there? Oh, you're beeping. Hello? Let's hear you.
Thank you, Trokon. Let me appreciate you for bringing the most powerful youth here on the radio this afternoon. My name is Prince Mayo. I join from Electoral District 13 on the other Stevenson Avenue this afternoon.
What kind of Stevenson?
Trokon, July 17 is loading.
Other Stevenson
The
Avenue.
protest of July will be a protest, one of the best protests in Africa. July 17, as I'm speaking now, I received my text message from my Secretary General of District number 13. We need ourselves.
Yeah, people endorse the protest, you receiving message or line to all.
The shooting of citizen Kitor, your decision for that. The killing of one of the police, why killed that lady, the pregnant lady, your decision for that. The brutality on citizens, your decision for that. I asked the man, you know I go.
I shouldn't ask the man. So I should like chairman get to, I shouldn't ask. That kind of media you want, that kind of journalists you want to sit in the studios. My man, you gotta find different radio station to that into man. I use that man. Hello? You better go find a radio station where you know get to that. Go ahead. How many person talking here? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are not talking make all like the unity party. No day in the history of CDC where is a CDC government will move to the unity party headquarters and cause chaos. We will tell Honorable Baka this country is for all Nigerians. Thank you for the show and the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Hello?
Hello, Honorable.
Go ahead, bossman. I'm fine. Let's hear you.
This is Elvis behind you calling for the National Chair for Recruitment Mobilization for CDC Motorcycling.
Baku, go ahead.
Good evening.
In one position again.
Yeah, greetings, brother.
I want to say this. This government is not doing the right thing to be frank. This is a kind of judgment they are doing. You have four persons, or the 5 persons who you said they were charged. 4 went to jail. The other person said they were going to go on an investigation by themselves. They're going to defend themselves. All right. You said to us that John Yancy was a suspect, suspect to the case. John Yancy was in Ghana. You brought him back in country on the 6th of June. Then you could not carry him, but you kept him to a luxury hotel. What are you telling us?
You know what they're talking there for?
They should have.
Man, I'm not asking you.
You were already dead. Why you have to give him the hotel?
Why if they want to use him as state witness? Do you know that is provided for under the law?
It should be through coercion or it should be voluntary.
Emmanuel Marcus, please. Thank you. Let's talk to somebody else. Hello?
Hello?
May you establish our sanction?
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I put media plug out on the chairman. Yeah, let's hear you.
Bambule Kamara and I call from Flower Town.
Yeah, go ahead.
I follow the conversation with the CDC youth chair. And it is important that we say this. For the first time in our life, it will be important that we give government the opportunity to ensure that we end this ugly culture of impunity. To have a thought on the sacred, swan of our democracy. It is my hope that this process go free, fair, and transparent, so that we can get hold of, somebody who committed that the crime, and that person suffer in the face of the law.
Okay.
And so let's forget about this
politics in this case here. Let all of us look at the law enforcer, the judicial system, the jurisprudence. Let us trust in our jurisprudence. Let us faith in our judicial system for the first time.
Thank you.
Let's see that we can end a particular culture of impunity. Thank you very much.
Thanks so kindly. Hello?
Yeah, Trokon.
Hmm?
I'm Anthony Sale.
Yes, Anthony. Go ahead.
I'm from Bourgeois. I want you to ask Emmanuel Johnson, Chairman Johnson, whether you didn't hear the district number 4 and the district number 9, Tafogo, Friends Tafogo, saying that you were going down the capital bay. You didn't hear what I want? Trokon.
Please ask him. Don't ask me.
I asked him because...
I'm not talking because he's here. He will respond to it. So he's here. I'm asking yourself, asking directly. He's listening to you, hearing you.
Emmanuel.
They don't not say yeah. Just answer the question.
You not here when Prince Tafogo came and said he was going down the capital building.
All right. He will respond to your question. Hello? Let's hear you. My man, don't me play with my colors. Go ahead. Let's hear you, sir.
You know what, brother? The way the people proceeding in this case.
Who people?
Yes, that's the government. You know the government proceeding in this case?
Yes, sir, what?
Just like to say they want to do something different. You hear? So what kind of way they're treating the people who are going to test against other people?
How they treating them?
But you say you know about it.
I don't know. Say it out.
Oh, okay. That's what is happening. So this kind of behavior, if the government continues to be treating everything like this, nothing good will come from this government.
Okay.
Because they should have been doing something better. They lie so much in this thing here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so kindly. Another person. Let's hear you.
Hello?
Trokon, let's hear you.
Yeah, how are you? I'm Vafle Tuglo calling from Chegotan.
Go ahead, Vafle.
Yeah, you know, in Labrador, sometimes I feel your opinion, you people who are journalists, you call people to studio and you ask for their opinion who don't have one impact to make in the society.
How you say they may not get impact?
Ask Emmanuel Johnson.
The man is the chairman for a whole youth group. You say he get impact, man?
Yes. But ask Emmanuel Johnson, when last he had gone somewhere out of the country or anywhere and make advocacy on the behalf of the citizen, apart from the citizen you believe this, that.
Out of the country?
How many times Emmanuel Johnson has ever been to somewhere? Emmanuel Johnson only came to the radio station because they know that people of their party have issues with government. Emmanuel Johnson did not talk for the youth.
Okay.
You don't know what happened to the youth that taking drugs.
Except that he's been having press conferences and speaking out. But let's talk to Abel Plaki. Abel, let's hear you.
Well, thank you. I'd like to greet my brother, Emmanuel.
Did I hear that you're the next superintendent for Margibi County?
Man, I will be happy even if I'm...
Can you confirm that? Have you been, elected by the executive?
I will be very happy if my people call me to duty. I will be very happy.
Have you elected the president by that position?
I will be very happy to even get elevated to something more than that. I'm sure you'll be happy when they say Trokon is the best station manager.
No, okay, I want be station manager.
Who doesn't want gravy now?
I'll be happy when you're superintendent. Aliyah and kind of Margibi kind of asleep farmiton.
Absolutely.
Let you go ahead.
I just want to remind Emmanuel that Emmanuel, those of you who abuse power when the Liberian people give you 6 years, you got no authority to lecture us about governance.
How did they abuse power?
Because you feel pride. How did they abuse power? I know you're acting as the devil's advocate.
No, not devil advocate. I'm serious. You're making allegations.
Emmanuel himself is not even appreciative of the sermon he's preaching. He comes because he needs to talk now.
Man, how they made it abuse power?
Number one, the way they abuse power here, you see the wanton, mysterious deaths and disappearances here. You saw President Weah leaving from here more than 50 days on safari when he should be doing something very serious in the country.
But President Bwaga himself left from here and went for a wedding celebration.
On what?
Oh, the president had gone to a wedding celebration of his friend's daughter.
You want to compare 50 days.
No, that is it. Whether
that
that's 4 days here are public time.
We went for wedding. You want to compare that? President Bwaka is a very serious president. You don't compare. You don't compare.
Hey man, look at that job that coming.
You won't compare. Emmanuel himself doesn't believe
it. Papa, man, I'll see you later.
Look, but Emmanuel, on a serious note, on a very serious note, the Inspector General is a very serious presence. He's a very serious man. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not going to be no amount of.
You coming be serious come official. I won't call you up. Bye-bye. Your time finished. Thank you. Hello. Hey, my man, it's okay. Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you so much.
The man won't be superintendent. Yeah, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much to my family. I have 4 questions for them.
How many questions?
4.
4?
Yes.
My man, today team 2, man. We ain't got time.
Okay, I got 2 for them. One go to the capital, so don't come here when they tell me that don't come here is,
that one person here.
You, for me, we are not going to pay that capital building. So they can't want to tell me for the day that we should not find the capital building. 2, don't come here when they tell me that you are in power for 10 years and you do nothing at all. And government will keep us breaking economic kind of bill. Then you say you come for protest? Protest for what about development?
Thank you. Here are your questions. Hello?
Yeah, hello, sir.
After you will take, let me see, I want to ask 2 questions. After we take the last 2 persons, let's hear you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This is George Lee Jacqui, and I call from Sana District in Bonkande, District 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to tell the senior guests there that, the way things was proceeding when my president, I am a Wiashian anyway. I was a Syrian, but when Winston Churchill said I should not go to vote, I told God, but I don't want to respect my leader. So from today over, I am a Wiashian. That's for me to go and vote.
You got to tell it more seconds. For you to make a point, you're giving history.
Now, the way we saw things going during that time, and those are for their business, we never voted for President. We voted the way we voted by voting for Bwaka. Some of them are still on the CDC. I want to ask the students whether they are applying, whether they are accepting help for them to leave the CDC so that 2029 we will come back to our body with the less of.
Okay, thank you. He understood that question. Abraham Samga Kremal, let's hear you. Chief of Staff in the office of Amos Tue.
Trokon, thank you. Good evening to your studio guest, the email.
And I am man.
Yeah, that's my friend.
Why you going to speak to the man with courtesy, man?
Good evening, Chief. How are you?
Let's go ahead. Hearing you.
Yes, thank you. Trokon, my brother been out for a very long time, so obviously he has to announce he's coming back. Clearly you can see that he's in studio, but it's just for the purpose of announcing himself. Technically, he said nothing different. He has said absolutely nothing different, and he couldn't point to what wrong has been done in the process of investigation. The one thing is, we know it is clear, in fact, that there was a situation.
Go ahead.
There was a situation that brought us on crime. The police investigated.
Okay.
They made arrest and ensured that they follow the due process of law. And we all Liberians, all of us, we are waiting for that process. So I'd just like to welcome my brother back to town. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Let's talk to Alvin Wisse. Let's hear you.
Well, thank you, my dear friend and brother.
Are we your friend, brother? My man, I hear you, man.
Let me say greetings to Comrade Chairperson of the Youth League, Emmanuel Boba Johnson. Thank you for the excellent deliberation. I mean, you were very clear. Don't be distracted by some fifth colonists and internal reactionary forces who enjoying the largesse from the feeling and reckless government. Let me say this to you, Trokon. This is not unfair, Trokon. You gotta stop laughing.
My man, you don't want to control this show, yeah?
Yeah, let me say this.
You think I can't read out your time and fail whole day?
Yeah, let me say this.
They be journalists, you want to do it.
Hello?
You live, Alvin, go ahead. You got a few seconds.
Let me say this story. All of the guys who are parading around today and think that they will masquerade with the cultural impunity, those guys will pay for it. When the CDC shall come to power, Gregory Coleman will be paid for that. Baka will be paid for that. The very Samuka that Core and Blackie and the rest of these elements will pay. They have to pay for it.
That threat?
It is fully on a tyrannical dictatorial system that perpetrators will be paraded as investigators, and we allow for victims to be carried away throughout the criminal justice system because they have power to do. All we can say in my conclusion is that with the wanton disrespect of the rule of law and the flagrant abuse of state power and resources, there'll be a time where the guys will be dragged in this country. The CDC government will take the lead, and all the guys will not go with opinion. We're going to show that. So it is a time to parade in arrogance, in opulence. It is a time to disrespect the rule of law. It's a time to bastardize state resources. But there will be a time where the youth league will stand up, and there will be a time where the masses will come out, and that time will come where elements of backwardness and historical accident will be placed on the guillotine upon further scrutiny.
Thank you.
So thank you to the former chairperson of the youth league. He did extremely well. He articulated the position. He's been here and we support him all throughout.
Thank you, Alvin.
Better Liberia.
Thank you so kindly. Let's go back to Chairman Johnson.
Trokon, thank you. And
so
I want to say
you wanted me to do for you, you can do
it. No, but Trokon, it has to be interactive. I want to say thanks to.
If I'm going to be interactive, you're going to be complaining.
Brother Fidel for his excellent position. I think it's freedom of expression to Abel and others. I think great actions has been documented. A lot of other different things he have done, and Abel was just saying stuff about things that maybe perhaps he's not knowledgeable about. But there are a lot of secret killing under this government. There have been lists. We have all of those secret killings. We've recorded those things. We've documented it. We've mentioned it. We've written directly to international community with the UN, with the U.S. embassy and other embassies around the country, informing them about those different issues. So those people, young people who were attacked in Grand Cayman County, Kinjor, and then Abel is saying that CDC government experienced the worst and expert. No, you don't have to say that, Abel, because what we are experiencing here is more than the worst. We are faced with a dying nation, a president that is incapable of properly organizing himself, a president that is not following through on all of the development trajectory. We've been hearing a lot surrounding, I will ensure that there will be no coup. There are too many things happening in our country. Young people are dying on a daily basis with drugs and substance abuse. There has been no regressive policy put into place by this government. We did something. We expect the government to move forward with it. There is absolutely nothing surrounding the calm down on drugs and substance abuse in our country. Gray, on the other end, he is blatantly violating young people's rights all over the place. And that's what we're encouraging the youth and student community. If you put a bound to young people not to assemble, the youth and student community must address that. And we're encouraging all young people to ensure that they stand up against the government. We appreciate the senator and other people who have spoken about this issue. We think this is an abuse of power. You cannot violate these young people's rights. Okay. In addition to that, we want to say we appreciate the family of Brother John Yanti. There will be a moment. We've also gotten information that some of our brothers have been taken from the Moria Central Prison. They've been sent to Ganta. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. Some of them have been sent to Kakatan. So we don't know. It is that torture chamber. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. We received information that some of them have been sent to Kakatan. We think the government is trading on a very wrong path. Human rights violation is a major situation that the government is faced with. Okay. They have done it times without number. We are documenting these things, and we want to say to the Liberian people that soon and very soon, we will make a determination for what will happen on July 17th. And when we do that, I can assure you, when we do that, we will not tell you, young people, be peaceful. Because we will not be aging at that time. Because there are a lot of we have said lots surrounding.
You wouldn't tell
of course, we wouldn't say that. I will not be one of those persons who will sit on the radio.
A threat to peace.
I'm just saying it. I'm not one of those persons who will tell you to be peaceful. Bwaka has never been peaceful. Bwaka has been very violent in his action. He has been lawless in his action. He has gone on the scene. And he has gone. No, I'll say that. Let me conclude. I will have to conclude. Choco, let me conclude. He has gone on the scene. He conducted his investigation. He concluded his investigation. That is abuse of power and violation of our law. He has illegally apprehended people. All of those things in consummation. If you go for protest, July 17, we will not tell you to be peaceful. Do what you have to do. Pay yourself. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so kindly. And those are the words of the Youth League chair of the Coalition for Democratic Change, Emmanuel Johnson. We'll be back on Monday with another edition of the OK Afternoon Conversation. My name is Trokon Wrepue. Thanks to Blessing and AB, our technical people, for taking us live. Other than, have yourself a wonderful rest of the time. Bye-bye.